I recently visited Accountex North and I wanted to share with you all the useful tech and providers information on what is happening to help us get ready for things like making tax digital and all those useful tips and tools to make our businesses run more smoothly. Let me share some of those insights and what it was all about. Hi, I'm Kimberly Shapcott, qualified chartered accountant, property investor and entrepreneur. Let's sit down and have a chat. Welcome to our Accountex North edition, which is going to share with you some of the great businesses and suppliers out there that are helping property businesses. So I'm going to talk about a few of the different teams that I met over the course of the day at Accountex North in Manchester, and hopefully it'll give you a few people to have a look at depending what software needs you have at this point in time. So before we dive into more software based ones, I wanted to mention Starling Bank, as they are definitely one of the online banks. There's someone who is there promoting how they're working with accountants, working with businesses to try and help achieve their goals. So that is definitely one to go and have a look, see what options they have available for you and your business. As with all banking, it's online applications. It's a way of getting a digital business bank account with zero monthly fees. So that is great for those getting started in business and those looking at developing their business. So there's no monthly charges on their banking services. There's free 24/7 UK support. It's a fully regulated UK bank, so that does mean that you're covered by the 85,000 money protection if anything, God forbid, should happen with them. And if you are thinking of switching, they do have an easy switch function where they can use the current account switch service. So if you are looking for a new bank, then maybe they could be a good option for you. You can have multiple directors or PSCs, persons of significant control, accessing your bank account. However, they can't provide access for third parties like accountants or other finance team members. So it is going to be you, the directors, that are in control of your bank account, which, to be fair, is probably the right way to go about doing it, and using different payment facilities if you need to be doing anything different. On a positive, it does integrate with your accounting software. So things like Xero, QuickBooks and Free Agent, it does connect all to those. So you can have your bank transactions uploaded into your bookkeeping software, which makes everything so much easier when it comes to having to deal with your bookkeeping side of things. It is all mobile and it is online banking, so therefore you are not going to necessarily find any branches, but it's a great way to keep it all on your phone on the go. You can be doing whatever transactions that you need to do as you go, wherever you go on your business. Obviously there are many banking choices, but this is definitely one to consider. They are out there and they are looking at working with businesses. So maybe one that you may consider depending what banking needs your business has. So let's move over to our next supplier, next person that I spent some time speaking to, and that is someone called Apron. Now Apron is a great way to be making payments. So this is someone who can help automate your payments process, which means rather than you have to sit there and put all the different entries into your bank account, what they do is they connect with your bank, they take the money out of your bank, and then they will pay those multiple suppliers with you when you've uploaded. It's a great way if you do have people helping, because they can set up the Apron payments, and then you, as the person in control of the bank, can actually approve those payments to be made by hopefully just a simple click of a few things to approve the payments. So it's a great way, especially if you've got more than one person or you want a VA doing certain things. One of the great things about Apron is that you can pay your employees, and depending on the size and scope of the work you're doing, they do have certain bits that are free to use and certain areas that are payable for using. So it's definitely a useful one. They were at Accountex North last year, so it is someone I've seen before, but they continue to be an impressive outfit and definitely one worth having a look if they may be of use to your business. On the basis we're now going more into accounting, payments and accounting, let's have a chat through Dext, because Dext is one of the solutions that was there on the day to speak to. And what Dext can offer is supplier invoice uploads and automated entry into your bookkeeping software. So when you're using something like QuickBooks or Free Agent or Xero, what they can do is you upload your receipt to Dext. It will automatically take the data out of that invoice and it will put it into your bookkeeping software with a copy of that receipt to be dealt with later to match to the bank payment that is made through your banking transactions on your bookkeeping. So it's a great way to manage your receipts and this side of the process to make sure you're capturing all the data that you need to be capturing. In terms of the systems they work with Xero, QuickBooks, Sage, Shopify, Amazon, Etsy, Stripe, Square. They're really there to help make your life easier. So they are integrated with quite a few different software suppliers and different ones to make sure, hopefully, depending what you are working with, things are moving forward correctly. Accounting software wise, they are connecting to all the major accounting softwares. So if you are going down an accounting specific software, then this will be a great way to manage things in together. So depending on what type of property business you are running, you may be able to make use of this because it will then keep everything all together and save you having the tireless task of sitting there with invoices and typing all the data in on the invoice to make sure it is there. Hopefully it will have done some of the work for you. Obviously, as always, there are going to be costs to using these sorts of softwares, but depending on the time, the quantum of entries you will be having, it may be worth the cost to save that time so you can be moving on to bigger and better things in your business. I've always found that time is the one thing we can't get back. So because we can't get time back, it's seeing how much time you're spending on these activities and where you can find the tools to help reduce the time you need to spend on them. Let us move on to some of the software that is out there for doing our bookkeeping. And I have come across a new Landlord specific one as well, which we will also mention. So we have got Sage that were there at the show again this year. And Sage again is one of those that has been around a long time. It knows about bookkeeping, it knows about software. So Sage is one of those which is NTD compliant. So it will be able to support sole traders and landlords in making sure they're fulfilling their requirements as we get into the whole making tax digital phase of the world. Now check out the video on making tax digital because that will then tell you what is happening with this and give you some updates of what is coming when we hit April next year. But before then, you need to probably be looking at your systems, your processes, figuring out how you're going to be running them. So let's go through some of the software that we came across at Accountex North to see what we need to be considering as some of the ones that we saw on that day. This is not an exhaustive list of all of the software out there. This is just going to cover some of the ones that I met on the day. So Sage was the first one there. They are a great long-standing company and they are definitely one that will help support things. If we're moving on to some of the other ones, some of the newer ones, we have got QuickBooks and Xero. QuickBooks being a bookkeeping software, you can get your bank feed connected to it. It will do your bank feed automatically for you. They are using quite a lot of AI, as many of these online softwares are these days. It's giving you the bank feed so you can make rules. So as you get the same mortgage payment coming through each month, it will automatically be picking up that that is the mortgage payment that is for that property, and you can start tracking. As with the online ones and all of the softwares, to be honest, you can be tracking the different property and seeing what is happening with each of the different projects. So it is a great software, one that I use for my businesses, but I have also used some of the others as well. So I'm not going to oversell the software if it is not your cup of tea. But this one is a really great one, cost effective, delivers what you need to tick all the boxes. Moving on to Xero, and this is again another great software. Price point is slightly higher than QuickBooks, But a great software does all the different areas, and they have got quite a landlord focus with what they are delivering. So they are there to help landlords as well as sole traders to tick the MTD box, or if you're thinking for your limited company, another great one that does it. Bank feeds will connect to it. The bank rules are also in place to make things easier. There is some AI tools in there to help manage the business, and it really does tick all the boxes when you're talking about bookkeeping specific software. The final one to mention is Free Agent. Not one I've greatly used a lot of, but I know depending on the bank account you've got, you may be entitled to a free version of Free Agent, which depending on your business may be perfect to keep costs down to a minimum. Again, another software that is online, it connects to your bank and it can deliver exactly what you need. So as you can see, we've got 4 different softwares there. We've talked Sage, we've talked QuickBooks, we've talked Xero, we've talked Free Agent. There is a lot of choice on the market. And what I tend to suggest is find out what your accountant's using, because if they're using it, they can support you to make sure that you get the most out of that software. Or they all have free trial. Jump on a free trial, see how it works, see whether you like it, how it looks, how it functions, whether you can find things when you need to. And then you can make your decision of which direction you go, whether it be from a software or what your accountant works with point of view, to hopefully get the right software for you. Now, before diving into one of those, we do need to mention that there are some specific landlord softwares out there. And the landlord specific software is there because it does all the property stuff as well as the bookkeeping, accounting, tax things that arguably you need to be doing with your accountant or do yourself, depending how you're approaching your tax and business affairs. So one that I'm going to share with you today is a new one, but I will say there are others out there. This was the only specific landlord focused one at the event, but be aware that there's a few others like Landlord Vision and Hammock. The one that I'm going to share with you now is one called Landlord Studio. Now, as I said, there is others. We've got Hammock, we've got Landlord Vision, there is Arthur. There is quite a few different software opportunities out there. So if you're thinking that you want a bit more landlord property focused software, there is property focused software which will help you manage your properties as well as do the finance side of things, which you need to be doing very regularly now for Making Tax Digital coming in, or for your limited company where you've got your annual filings, not just your tax return filing and the Making Tax Digital or MTD submissions, as they will be coming in next year, progressively over the next few years for individuals who have property income in their own name. So how does Landlord Studio compare? Well, a great thing that they've got on their website, which I'm going to share with you, is some of the differences between some of the softwares. So we can have a look at exactly what they're saying they have on their software and what they don't have on their software. So we can see how does it compare to some of the other products on the market. So as we can see, they've all got the income tracking, they've all got some of the recurring expenses. One of the things that Landlord Studio tells us it's got is it's got bank feed rules specifically, which as you'll see, some of the softwares have. Hammock doesn't have that one, but QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, they all have these sorts of things in place. The other thing that is really useful that Landlord Studio is telling us is that you can automate letting agent statements import. So this is when you get your letting agent statements, you can be automatically getting those in. So for those that want as little work as possible, that might be a little added benefit to have a look at how does that work so that it's reducing the workload that you potentially may have. Whereas on other softwares, you have to be actively putting in the differences, the managing fees, the repairs costs, that sort of thing, to split it out to make sure you're showing the gross income as well as the expenses that you've been incurring. Because this is a property focused one, they do have some property reports as well as the normal reporting. So this is potentially a little more extensive than some of the other softwares because it is so very property orientated and property focused. Because it's property focused, like Hammock, you can track your property tenant arrears. So you can be seeing, is someone behind? Have they paid the rent? How is it looking? which is a great thing because it's very easy to do compared to some of your more bookkeeping focused products, which you can do that, but you've got to actively put the rent on that you're expecting so it shows up, compared to the property focused ones where you tell it, I've got a tenant, they're paying this much rent. If they haven't seen that rent come in by rent day, it will automatically start showing you they're in arrears on your software. As a property focused one, they are showing you your compliance requirements. So as you do gas certificates, you can mark it up, put your reminders in. So it's going to be telling you, as well as your EICRs and any other relevant dates that you may have if you've got services or warranties that you need to keep in place to ensure that you're doing it, whether it be also things like your annual insurance renewal, to make sure that it just reminds you that it is approaching. And I want to say it won't get overlooked because they'll get in touch, but it just means you're on the ball so you know exactly when you're meant to be doing what. As Landlord Studio is a property focused one, it has got a few added extra features. So your features include creating listings to help find and manage tenants, pre-screen leads, tenant emails and text messages, track tenancies, and another at the very bottom of our summary is tenant portal for maintenance requests, which potentially is a really useful feature, especially if you're managing your own properties. So as you can see, this is potentially going to be a very useful software if you're thinking, I'm managing my own property, I want something that's going to help me on that side of things, as well as make sure I'm doing the property stuff, and obviously make sure you're ticking the making tax digital approach with this one. So definitely one to be having a look at if you're thinking of property software, or if you're using something and it's not quite working for you, it may be one to have a look at to see whether this could be the one that ticks all the boxes that you need ticking. As you can see from some of those photos, you'll see that there was lots going on at the event, and I tried to pull out some of the bits that were more useful for landlords rather than myself, the accountants, who as well, we're trying to find the right tools for our clients to be using, as well as the tools to support us achieve our clients' goals as well and get things done as effectively and efficiently as possible. Hopefully that gives you an idea of some of the software out there that is available for you, and some of the newer ones which are not as widely known, as we are consistently seeing new technology and new developments to help make this aspect of our businesses run more smoothly. Obviously, none of this is going away, and it is definitely all about being organised and getting things done on a timely basis. So hopefully you've got a good idea of some options available to you if you've not already got things in place. If you've got things in place already, make sure you're just monitoring to see that they are doing what you need them to do, especially if you are doing things in your own name. So you need to be compliant with the Making Tax digital rules. Business is constantly changing, so we need to be changing with it and make sure we're using the right tools for the right jobs to help achieve the goals that we have set out for ourselves as business owners.
Hopefully today you've got a few ideas on some of the software and some of the insights of what has been happening in the accounting software and the moving forward with all this compliance information, compliance fun that we have to deal with when we're running our own businesses. If you have any questions, then please do leave a comment. Please like the video and do subscribe to the channel. And let's make tax less taxing. Let's make tax less taxing.